The inclusion of Namor the Submariner into the MCU has been one of the most worthwhile and captivating character introductions in the last several months or even years, with the Empire of Talocan making its grand debut alongside its king and god. Throughout the course of filming, and even within the project itself, several claims were made as to the magnitude of Namor's strength and the fullest extent of his capabilities, with some going as far as to claim that he could contend with and even outclass some of Marvel's strongest powerhouses. So, stick with us today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, and let's discuss some of Namor's most formidable feats of strength, speed, and durability in order to assess these claims and see if he truly can stand up to some of Marvel's finest. Spoilers ahead for Wakanda Forever as we power scale Namor. This all began leading up to the release of the film, as director Ryan Coogler claimed that Namor could match Thor in terms of pound for pound strength. And if he's in the water long enough, he can even stand up to the likes of the Hulk, claiming that he is actually stronger than Thor is when in the water. And while we conducted a previous assessment of this claim, we felt that the release of the film itself calls for an updated version on Namor's true power. In the film itself, M'Baku addresses the possibility that Namor could be as strong as the Hulk, showing that the characters in-universe are aware of his strength as well. And throughout the film, he is a consistent threat to the entire nation of Wakanda. At the end of the film, Shuri has to rely on her ingenuity and engineering prowess to design a system that can dehydrate and weaken Namor to the point where she can contend with him hand to hand, showing that as of now, it seems as if the power of the Black Panther is no match for Namor on a neutral environment. But more on this in just a moment. In the comics, he is in fact traded blows with the likes of the Incredible Hulk, and not only does Namor have the durability to stay in this fight, but the striking power to visibly affect the Hulk. While he can contend with the Hulk, he has very seldom bested the Green Goliath, and he is typically only able to do so when within water. This not only allows Namor to augment his strength, but it weakens the Hulk and allows Namor to access the rest of his subnautical abilities. In this environment, the Hulk is handily at a disadvantage when it comes to maneuverability and speed, and this allows Namor to capitalize on his athletic advantage. He has used powerful whirlpools to disorient and ultimately beat the Hulk, but this isn't a direct measure of capabilities of his brute strength. On land, however, he has traded blows with Hercules, who is widely regarded to be a close equal to Thor, and in the MCU, he is being positioned as a direct threat to the God of Thunder, indicating that he is able to contend with the God of Thunder himself. Perhaps where Namor shines, though, is in his ability to take blows from incredibly powerful individuals and continue to fight regardless. In the MCU, this is prevalent throughout the course of Wakanda Forever. In the aforementioned final conflict between himself and the Black Panther, Shuri has to design a dehydration chamber in order to even stand a chance, getting him away from the water and severely weakening him leading into their final conflict. It's important to mention though that even in the midst of his dehydration and inability to fight at the fullest extent of his capabilities, he was able to severely wound Shuri and could have feasibly won this battle. Even in his weakened state, he could have very easily killed Shuri had he decided to, but instead he felt the necessity to return to the water, and this allowed Shuri to rise up and continue the fight. If he is able to nearly best her at this weakened state, then what might he be capable of in his home domain that we haven't seen him showcase just yet, as Namor largely fights out of the water in Wakanda Forever. In the comics, Namor's durability is increasingly prevalent. We mentioned before that he was able to stand up to the likes of the Hulk and Hercules, but this entails being able to take strikes from each of these two powerhouses without submitting. These incredibly powerful heroes, however, are not the only individuals with whom he has done battle and handily survived. Namor has taken powerful blasts from both the Sentry as well as even Captain Marvel, as well as survived optic blasts from Cyclops and lived to tell the tale. In many of these instances, he got up and continued to fight despite being pummeled by some of the most powerful, cosmic-level heroes that the Marvel Pantheon can offer. And in the MCU, we learned that not only is he capable of several feats of incredible durability, but he has access to some of the most powerful weapons on Earth. As we come to find out in Wakanda Forever, Wakanda is not the only kingdom to have access to vibranium, and Talocan has their own rich supply of the exceedingly rare metal. This means that Namor's weaponry and equipment consist largely of the single strongest metal to be found on Earth at this point in time. This allows his equipment to stand up to the likes of Wakanda, and what largely served as Wakanda's primary advantage in battle no longer applies to the kingdom of Talocan. For years, Wakanda's use of vibranium set them apart from the rest of the world, giving them weapons and gear that could level armies of entire nations, and they were always able to stand above the rest of the world based on their use of vibranium. So now, what happens when another nation is just as well equipped as they are? Namor's spear can slice through the hulls of Wakandan ships, and his agility makes him incredibly difficult for Wakandan pilots to pin down. During the Wakandan siege, he was able to outmaneuver some of Wakanda's finest weapons and ground several ships throughout the course of the war, causing more damage to the most powerful army in the world than anyone up until this point had been able to. If this one individual can stand up to the most technologically advanced nation on Earth and come out on top, then it is not unreasonable to believe that some of these comic feats might make their leap onto the big screen. As of now, we do not have a firm upper limit of Namor's strength, just his lower levels, especially since we've only seen him in this very weakened state using his full effort in battle, as he wasn't even really trying to win any engagement until the very end. While we aren't necessarily saying that this automatically means that he can stand up to the likes of Hulk or Thor outright as many are saying that he could, it wouldn't be a surprise to find out that he can hold his own for a considerable duration of time, especially when only talking about Thor's strength, even if he doesn't ultimately come out on top in either of these encounters. And the simple answer that as of now, we simply need more information about the MCU Namor. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this claim? Do you think that the MCU version of Namor can contend with the Hulk or even Thor? Do you think he has a pound-for-pound advantage over either of them? And do you think he could beat either of them in a real fight? And do you think we will find out? As always, my friends, if you want to learn more about the Marvel Cinematic Universe day by day as we keep you updated on all things comics and Marvel, be sure to reach out and smash that subscribe button. Until next time, my friends, have a great day.